start. Hello again, kids. Here we are. Yet another day, yet another test ride. Well, again, technically, same day. This is the third test ride of today. So far already today, I've ridden a Suzuki V-Strom 1000, the Yamaha MT-09 Tracer. But now we're on the Triumph Tiger 800 XRX. Ooh, I love that whistle. Just like the Yamaha, really quick to rev, but with more of that Triumph whistle that I lie awake at night in moist excitement dreaming about. Well, first thoughts, it looks bloody good. It's a fine looking machine both on and off the bike. I'm not sure about this piece of Triumph lingerie that it's currently adorned with, but ho-hum. And it feels good too, it feels solid, it feels strong, it feels, well, like a Triumph. Now, as far as I can remember, which unfortunately I'm afraid isn't very far, the Tiger 800 is down on torque and power on the Yamaha, and it does feel a little bit less, oh, I can't think of the word, grunty. It feels a lot less grunty than the MT-09 Tracer. And you've got that awesome whistle and the exhaust note, but the urgency isn't quite there so much, well, from what I've seen so far. It's very well planted, feels pretty solid. This again is a horrible road surface and it seems to be doing alright. Although the guy in the shop might need to change his patter a little bit. He said, yeah, come down here, you'll find this road, it's really bendy. It'd be great, you can do a bit of twisty action. It's in a bloody residential area, you plonker. Can't give it all the pasty on this. That would have been the shortest test ride in the history of test rides. Now, this bike certainly doesn't seem quite as chuckable and as agile as the Yamaha was. I mean, it's pretty bloody sprightly considering it's supposed to be an adventure bike. This is the XRX, which I'm not going to go into the world of differences between the specifications, but the biggest change is that the R stands for road. So this one has spoked alloy wheels rather than, well, not spoked, oh god. So this one has cast alloy wheels rather than spoked steel wheels, which are better suited for the off-road kind of riding. But yeah, it's not quite as sprightly, it's not quite as flickable. I mean, that said, it's still head and shoulders above the V-Strom. Oh yes. Awesome! There's like 2 or 3 notes in there, possibly 3 due to it being a 3-cylinder engine. It certainly is a very hoonable bike though. It's got plenty of, oh, cat. Why do cats run in front of you when they're already on one side of the road? I don't get it. Idiots. The one thing which is absolutely glaring, staring me in the face, or staring me in the foot if you rather, is the gear change. It's a little bit slappy in my opinion. I've missed a few gear changes because there's no solid click it's in. I mean, either that or just the travel is so much greater than I'm used to that I'm not pushing it far enough. Let me just have a little play and see. It's a very soft connection. It's not quite so easy to see that it's actually in gear. I've never been down here before, this is awesome. The throttle response on this bike is far, far better than the Yamaha. There's no on and off jerkiness, I haven't had any of that yet. It's all very smooth. Really, really, really beautifully smooth. Good work, Triumph. Good job. Very, very confidence inspiring, this bike. Just like all the others. It's very balanced and it's jumping into these bends really easily. I'm feeling like there's no real wobbliness, there's no imbalance. Feeling very confident with it. Let's find somewhere to have a nice goggle at her vital statistics. That's a quiet cul-de-sac. So there it is, Triumph Tiger 800 XRX. It's got this many horsepower, this many newton meters of torque, peaking at approximately this many RPMs. Sorry for the on-screen details here, folks. I haven't done my homework clearly, and I've neglected to remember. Terribly sorry. It's got ABS, traction control, all the same gubbins as all the other bikes. There was a pretty even playing field, to be honest. A massive can. If you want to hear what a really nice one sounds like, just watch some of Captain Rambunctious's videos. He's got an Arrow can on his, and it sounds the business. I forgot to do this on both of the last two, but how do we get into the seat here? Shitting. Look at that. There's a power socket underneath the seat. That's pretty handy. Aha, there he is. So it's got a two-piece seat. Either that or I've just broken it. There's quite a bit of space in there. How do you get the front seat off then? Oh, like that. There's the battery. Wonderful. Splendid. Very impressive. Let's get back on the road, shall we? We're here for riding, not for looking. God, that's a merry dance on there, isn't it? Look. Let's get on with it. That was adventurous. It has got nice big rubber-topped off-road style foot pegs to give it that off-roady feel. And the engine is really smooth. Really smooth. The power delivery, just like on the Yamaha, it's really quite even. I haven't noticed any horrible dull spots or surprising peaks or anything yet. There's a little bit of a swell at 5,000 there. I think I'm going to get the chance to really stretch our legs, to be honest. Brakes seem pretty good as well, although they weren't quite as sharp to pull up as the MT-09 just then, but they were still more than adequate. Now this one's got a lot of the same bells and whistles as the other bikes. It's got trip counters and a clock, a fuel gauge, outside temperature. It's got a constant engine temperature gauge. That's pretty cool. Fuel economy, is that instant or is that average? Yeah, it's instant. Doesn't seem to have average though. Oh, there it does, on the other trip job and jib job. It's all very informative, isn't it? And all a lot easier to reach than the control boxy jib job on the Yamaha. It's all easily at the thumb here. And everybody likes their information easily at the thumb. That well-known saying. But this bike also has cruise control with the buttons down here. No idea how that works, so for this test ride I'm just going to leave it alone. This isn't really a cruise control worthy road, to be honest. It's a beautiful ride though. It isn't quite as exciting as the Yamaha, but it is certainly a beautiful ride. Really responsive, really hoonable. The power is silky smooth and almost instantly there. There was a little bit of a flat kind of powerless area there between 3 and 5,000, but that could just be me not riding in the right area in the rev range. But then again, I want a bike that I don't have to worry too much about where in the rev range I'm riding, and the Yamaha definitely provided that feeling. Now the seat actually seems to be a pretty good compromise between the firmness of the Suzuki V-Strom 1000 seat and the shortness of the Yamaha seat. This has got quite a nice, like, kind of horse saddle, cradly kind of feel to it. This feels really comfortable. I'm not sliding forwards, I'm not sliding back. Seems to be quite neutrally placed, and I like it. I'm not getting a ridiculous amount of buffeting off this screen either. I have to say I'm quite impressed with that. And it is adjustable too. These screws on the side mean that you can tip it upwards. And the wind is coming just about my jawline at the moment. And I think it looks like it's on its lowest setting. Sounds awesome. I think sound-wise it's just got that little bit of an edge on the Yamaha. And like I said earlier on, stick an Arrow or a crappy bitch system on it and this beastie will roar. Actually, those brakes are really quite sharp when you haul them on. Switch gearboxes are nice and big and really solid. The plastic is really good, hard quality stuff. There's a little bit of a moulding edge around that edge there. It would have been nice if they could have cleaned that off. Suspension so far has seemed really quite close to the MT-09, to be honest. Just I'm not really noticing any failings in it. I haven't had any chattering from the back wheel, I haven't had too much diving from the front wheel under braking, I haven't had too much of the back end squatting down under acceleration. It all seems to be doing a really good job of holding it together. But much like the Yamaha, this Tiger it's a bit more of a firmer ride than the Suzuki, so you feel yet more planted to the road and yet more involved with what's going on. I'd say this is just underneath the Yamaha on the firmness scale. I mean, obviously, I don't know if the Triumph is actually adjustable, so I'm not sure if you could stiffen that up a bit. Obviously, changing springs and things will do that. Not that you want to buy a new bike and then be changing the springs, eh? Let's stop and have a bit of a dick around with this screen, see if we can try out a few different settings. Unscrew the doohickey, move the doobly-dooble, and then the screen's at its highest setting. It does look cool, doesn't it? It's a mean looking bike. I like it a lot. Coming off the curb. Beautifully done. Really smooth, soaked that up really easily. The mirrors, I'm kind of, I can't get excited about them. They work, they're good quality. The glass is flat, which is a big deal. And vibration wise, they seem to be just not too bad. So far I've been able to see something behind me throughout this ride. I would say we could jump on the motorway and have a stretch to see how that deals, but to be honest, it's all bloody roadworks here as well. You can't get up to motorway speed until you're a good 10 miles away from Hamburg at the moment. It's ridiculous. It feels very light, very well balanced standing in the traffic, so I can imagine it's going to be quite easy in the city. It's not quite as light as the Yamaha was. Well, it doesn't feel as light as the Yamaha. It actually weighs this much. Sorry, another on-screen number there. Oh, the noise of that screen now is much, much worse. That's terrible. I think it was better where it was. That's quick, wasn't it? It takes me a solid 10 minutes to adjust the screen on the Versys. I have to undo all the bolts. Yeah, once again, I could definitely see myself chewing up some serious miles on this bike. Feels really comfortable. Everything is well placed. I like the nice big rubber top foot pegs. That gear change could be an issue. It's a bit flappy. The screen, very close second to the Yamaha, I'd say, when it's in this position. We may be on the motorway, you need it in the highest position and to duck down a bit, but you roll with the punches, don't you? It's not as balls out powerful and crazy as the Versys was. It's not quite as exciting as the Yamaha was, but I'd say it's definitely second place to that. I would say at this point, if I had to put them in order, ignoring the price, right now, my heart, and it is the heart with which we should buy a motorbike, let's be honest. Can't think about it too much. You're supposed to enjoy the thing. If it's boring and frugal and a Honda, you just won't ride it. So I would have to say it would be Yamaha at the top, a joint second, I think, between this and the Versys. This is where I'd pass over the decision to the number crunchers to work out which is the better deal. Maybe have another ride on each, you know, any excuse. And then, unfortunately, the Suzuki down at the bottom end. It was a fantastic bike, but just didn't get my heart pumping like that kind of thing does. Now we do have another small amount of mismatched silver going on, but seems to be the norm. Seems to be what everybody's doing. And these handguards as well. I mean, for me, they're fine. Never really going to go off-roading on a bike like this, so all I would really want that for is to keep the wind off my hands. But they're never going to do much off-road because they are just plastic screwed on at either end. I've got a similar set to put back on the Versys and they do the job just fine. I'm not expecting them to protect me from oncoming Nordic pines. This is a lovely bike. It really is a lovely bike. Sadly, I would have to say I think it's been beaten at its own game by the MT-09 Tracer. But of course, that's just my opinion, and I don't say it lightly because you know how I feel about that Triumph whistle. But it is close. This is a really exciting ride. It's planted, it's quick, it's agile. It is very agile, actually. Check it out. Yeah, it's impressive. Again, not quite as light as the Yamaha, but it's really close behind. General. This is the kind of bike that I'd get up in the morning and I'd feel excited about going out for a ride on it. I mean, come on, you know me. I'm excited about going out on any bike for a ride. If this was in my garage, if the Yamaha was in my garage, I'd be making excuses to go out for rides. I'm just popping out to get some milk, love. Yeah, I'm afraid the whole county's run out. I've got to go to Bavaria. Yeah, I know. I'll be back on Wednesday. Oh, this bike has got all of it. That induction roar, the whistle, the exhaust note, all comes together in this trifecta of awesomeness, man. Oh, it pushes out of those corners so easily. Do you know what, the longer I spend on it, the more I'm thinking, listen, the Yamaha might be shoulder to shoulder. I have to say though, as well, the clock on this, once again, it's a little bit of a dog's dinner, isn't it? I mean, it's not really obvious. Fuel gauge, yes. Temperature gauge, yes. Speedo, yes, but I think that could be bigger, maybe a thicker font. But the stuff that's in here, it's not immediately obvious what a lot of that is. You know, 258, what is that? It's 309, not 258. Don't get it. That said, it looks good. I mean, from a further away perspective, it's a good looking piece. It fits with everything. The view of my office right now, it looks good. It's an office I could spend a few days working in, let's say that. Of course, the headlights sadly are twin halogens, not like the super futuristic LED headlights on the Yamaha. Love that shit. I'm such a geek. Oh, sadly, I'm just going to have to quickly plonk a little bit of petroleum in there. Signed an agreement, as is the way in Germany. Be back in a second. Well, that's exactly 2 litres shoehorned in. Minimum amount I can possibly buy. Kind of a small detail, but this kind of thing generally gives me wood and makes me moist at the same time. I really like the way the seat is completely flat here, and it's at the same level as the rack at the back here. Because when I went in, I just plonked my helmet on the top there, and it stayed there, which was nice. Right, let's go give it back. Well, I'm really impressed with that. Leaves no doubt in my mind whatsoever as to why these bikes are so popular. It's a fantastic machine, it really is. Just wish I had more of a chance to give it a proper go. I think the Triumph has the best indicator button as well. Very important, that. Got a good click either side, nice quality plastic, and it says off on it. It says off on it. What more do you want from an indicator button? No flappy old lady nipple like on the MT-07. Pretty solid back brake, no sponge, quite direct. Not quite as sharp as it was on the V-Strom, but I would say that's a good thing. I prefer a slightly weaker back brake that you have to push harder on than one that just punishes you for lacking any foot-based finesse. Now, hopefully I didn't go too early, because this is a one-way street. Yep, looks like I went too early. We're going round again then. This bridge is pretty cool, isn't it? Right, cobbled street U-turn, I'm afraid. Just keep revving it because it sounds so good. Cobbled street U-turn, go. Oh, the traction control kicked in a bit there. I was a bit too throttle happy on this terrible surface. That would have been me dead without traction control, or at the very least 2,000 euros lighter. Shows it works the way. Oh, it's so annoying. The Triumph garage is just there. Me, just ground a toe there. Bloody hell. Shit my pants. Probably not very clever. Go back with the hero blobs worn off. What a beautiful day though. Great day to spend all day riding on fantastic motorbikes. Ah, the last warp before the goodbye. Sorry love, gotta give you back. I'll be honest, I probably won't call. It's just, well, you see I've already got a bike, so yeah, maybe that is a bit harsh, but I thought you'd appreciate the honesty. Look, here's your lot. And there we go, I've ridden right into the showroom because I'm special. And that's that. Triumph Tiger XRX. Till the next test ride / video. See you later. Ta-ta.